What is up, everybody? Welcome to episode 96 of the Fight Geeks podcast.
What up, y'all? I'm Kyle. We're going to be talking fights. You know what I'm saying?
Fights and more. But last weekend we had UFC 314. 96.
Wow.
We're really getting close to that 100. We got something big planned for that episode.
Yeah, we got a lot going on, man. So stick around.
Yeah.
I hope to watch fights here more. That'd be sick.
We're going to start off with kind of what happened last week, some plans that we got for next weekend, what we're going to do. And I think just because it's the most recent thing, we'll just start with UFC 314.
I mean, yeah, what I want to say before
kind of your immediate
thoughts. We talked about it when I texted you the next day, man. What we thought was, wow, it wasn't even necessarily a stat card in terms of like star power or whatever you want to call it. Like, it was just you had really good names on there. Chandler, Paddy, everything. And no one really know. It was UFC kind of had a slump. So immediately thoughts, wow, what a comeback for the UFC.
Amazing.
I loved the fight. Every single fight, top to bottom, was great. Even Dominic Reyes getting the win. Paddy slicing through Chandler. So what did you think about it?
Yeah.
Just
Going
awesome.
back to the first topic of the UFC is quote unquote back, because there's a lot of stuff going on where it's like only real UFC fans watch these cards.
Yeah.
And like the card will have like 6 knockouts, 7 knockouts on it. But the feeling of, seeing a card where every single fight is like a notable name or even not even notable, like I don't think everybody knows Dan Ige, but it's just a ranked fighter that can make something happen. You know what I mean? Like every fight has a ranked fighter that can make something happen, and it just makes the night so much more exciting. The hype is built up around it. There's actual stuff on the line involving rankings.
Dude, Dan Ige fight was awesome.
Like, don't get me wrong, I love watching like two contenders trying to battle it out just to claw their way up the rankings. I mean, that's how stars are born, but
I feel like
I love watching these cards, man.
I feel like if me and you were a little bit older and we had a little bit more times on our hand, maybe the UFC isn't as bad as the internet makes it seem, because you got to understand, internet makes things like this is how it really be, but with the internet, it really be like up here. Like, is the UFC really dying? Absolutely not, man. It's still the top MMA league and organization.
Numbers are allegedly going down. But.
Well, of course they're going down, because there's no denying that there was a slump, but it's also like this is still like the top, right? UFC had a very good last year, had many stars. So I think like really like the reality of the UFC being bad, it's like right here, right? But the internet makes it seem so much worse than it really is. And like I said, we're just to the point where like we're not free all the time, right now at our age, where like we need the cards to make us more engaged, right? We don't want to watch boring. But maybe, like I said, like later on we'll be more interested in these.
I'm definitely just gonna
cards.
be watching sports all the time when I'm.
That's what I mean. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's why like and all these, the guys that do dedicate their time to the sport, like a couple of the MMA YouTubers that there are, they love every single fight. They don't even. Like, they'll admit there's a slump, but they still watch every card because they enjoy watching fighting.
I mean, we kind of watched every
and
card
and we watch
to some extent.
Like, honestly, sometimes when we watch the fight,
we had fun on that night.
Izzy
I think it was Moreno versus
Izzy fought the
Imavov. No, but Moreno versus Usyk. That was honestly a good card.
So we've watched a couple of fight nights, and honestly, every time we do watch them, they don't really miss. It's just like the time of the moment, man. Yeah. So
last weekend was awesome.
I don't really think UFC's dying, but yeah. Regardless, UFC was awesome. What fight should we start off with? The Dan Ige fight was sick. That's kind of when I tuned in. I was kind of busy a little bit during the early prelims.
Let's check it out. That was, I believe,
that might have been in
opener.
The prelims.
But other, I guess.
What was before that? Anything too interesting?
We can at least talk about Jim Miller taking his 19th loss.
Guys, I don't recommend gambling, but I did drop $15.
What? On Jim Miller?
No. I dropped $15 and said, this is what I did with my money. I tried to triple it, and that's when I lost. So I ended up going huge on Dominic Reyes. We'll get to that fight.
Hey.
I went up huge, like 75, and then by the time the Diego Lopez fight got on, I ended up like dropping like only profiting like 20.
You bet on Diego Lopez?
Oh yeah. But because I was so hot that I just had to keep betting. But so that fight,
Jim Miller,
I bet $5 on Chase Hooper knockout because I thought he was going to do more with him, and I forgot how young Chase Hooper. Why is he in the UFC, bro? That's what I gotta ask. There's no reason why he shouldn't have been able to finish the oldest fighter in the UFC, bro. Dominant performance, yes.
I know, right?
But to me, like I think almost like we as fans give him too much credit, and a lot of the analysts give him too much credit because the dude's in the top organization of the sport at 25 years old, not being able to finish the oldest guy in the sport.
What happens to me is like if you're a 41-year-old mixed martial artist, you should be able to kick a 25-year-old's ass.
Well, to me that's a win though because he's got the most fights in the UFC.
I think Jim Miller So since he lost that, he should be gone.
You look at it as on the other side. I look at it on the 25-year-old.
Did he retire?
This guy's ass.
Did he retire?
This guy should have whooped. No, he didn't fucking retire.
God damn it!
This
Why
guy
aren't you retiring?
This guy should have whooped his ass. Is what I think. I think it was the opposite. I think Chase Hooper should have whooped this guy's ass. 41-year-old.
Chase Hooper.
Fucking.
Yeah, true.
I think he should have knocked him out. I think it was a 3-round, very dominant fight. But I just think, like I said, man, like Joe Rogan and even those guys gave him a little bit too much credit because like he put on a dominant performance, but the dude didn't show any really significant damage. It was kind of a lackluster fight. It was more just a dominating like he had more control time, but I didn't really see any. So I don't know what he's gonna do. What division?
Lightweight.
Yeah,
I think he's got. We don't have to worry about Chase Hooper in the rankings for a good year.
I don't think we have to worry about it ever. He's 25. He's been in the UFC for a while now, man. I remember fighting in with him in UFC 3. He might have been in the UFC. I'm gonna guess since he's been like 20. And I feel bad.
He definitely.
This will come a topic of discussion. I'll either come back and bite this, but I don't think Chase Hooper or
he's
Raul.
Been fighting in the UFC so long that there's somebody that we call Russian Chase Hooper.
This is on.
Russian Chase Hooper.
Yeah. This might come back to bite me, but I'm saying it here now. Raul nor Chase Hooper will ever be champ if they stay inside the UFC. I think it's too stacked, it's too deep, and the UFC is only going to be able to grab better guys than older, more complete guys from other divisions like LFA and stuff like that. I think when you're in the UFC this young, you're not John Jones. I don't think, right? Raul already lost. Chase Hooper has lost. I don't think they're going to have a. Raul's a better chance, but the dude just went to war with the dude who had like 10 losses. So maybe this will come back to me, but. What fight did you start looking on? Because I did watch that one. I did watch that one, low key.
I'm gonna keep it honest. I didn't pull up until your house, and it was.
Can you?
This fight. I didn't start, but I wanted to just put in this real quick. Zhang Wei Li has a new #1 contender to worry about.
Did watch that fight.
Verna Jandiroba. She just got a unanimous decision. She's kind of been a unanimous decision queen recently. Decision.
God.
So 4 out of her last 5 have been decisions, but she is on a 5-fight win streak.
I will say they are very dominant, and honestly, I'm not going to lie, I haven't been able to watch too many of her last couple of fights, but I did watch this one, and I will say, as much as it was unanimous decision, and she's got a lot of decisions, she was very close to finishing the fight multiple times. It ended up in one of those situations where it was the end of the round, and she was about to crank an armbar. So just unfortunate timing. Every time she had a chance for a finish, the bell caught her, which is another thing with fighters. Like, right, you got to get it done early. So, still unanimous decision queen, but that fight was actually surprisingly entertaining.
Yeah, no, I'm honestly really hyped for Zhang to have a new face up there. They've never fought before.
I think Zhang Weili should get out while she can, man. Like, I don't even know.
I think she should try a double champ in the get out.
She doesn't fight enough.
But I wanted to make a quick note.
Valentina, man.
A quick note on the next fight: Dan Ige versus
awesome fight.
Charles Woodson. Is it? What I want to say about this? Dan Ige, right? He's number 15 ranked. His rankings are on the line here. He's now 7-1 against unranked featherweights.
I think he
UFC.
also lost his last 2 against
to Murphy and Lopez.
Yeah.
And both in decisions though.
And so
his whole career has shifted.
I'm not sure you obviously didn't get to watch this fight, but did you see the stoppage?
No.
Can you try to pull that up? And I only asked because I want to see your initial thoughts.
I think I did.
Because people are saying that this is one of the worst stoppages of all time. I'm saying that it was not that bad.
Cormier and Rogan were bewildered at this controversial stoppage.
I didn't think it was the worst stoppage. Guys, listen. Bad? Yes. Worst stoppage I've ever seen? No. The dude wasn't moving. So I want to see your thoughts. I hope you agree that it wasn't like the worst. I've seen worse stoppages in terms of, I don't know,
definitely saw this, but I don't remember.
So I also saw people saying robbery. Dan Ige was up 2-0 on the judges' scorecards. People said the stoppage was horrible. So that went people to go to the scorecards because they thought Woodson still had a chance. Well, I guess with the judges' scorecards, all 3 had him up 2-0, so it didn't matter. We're going to watch live. I want to see if you think this is one of the worst of all time. Mind you didn't see the sequence before this. All right, that looks pretty shit from that view, but he didn't see guys, he only saw from when he was smashing him when the Woodson had him by the hips. He didn't see the onslaught that happened 5 seconds before this.
Damn.
ESPN's trying to spin the narrative and get me humbled on this podcast because that looked bad from that angle. He didn't see the onslaught before this. Fuck ESPN.
Yeah, say that shit. Yeah, I'm hyped here for Danny.
No, what'd you think? You thought that was pretty? Did that look bad?
Yeah, it looked very bad from this ESPN.
Guys, I swear you got slaughtered before that, man. Damn it!
I believe you. I believe you. And then Dominic Reyes, the kid is back.
Yes.
He knocks out Nikita Krylov. The only thing about this, my only flaw is that Krylov, he's coming back since 2023. It's not like he's he's some light heaveweight force to be reckoned with. But I'm happy.
I love the Reyes, Dominic Reyes confidence because guys, we saw he's won his last 3 by KO.
Confidence
Before
boost.
that, he had the loss to John Jones and then a couple of knockout losses, I believe. Let's see.
Oh, this is.
I low-key cooked. All right, so he lost against John Jones and then lost. Oh, wow, I cooked entirely. So he won by KO 3 times. In his last 4, he lost to John Jones by decision, then went south by that. 3 KO losses in a row. And now he wants
3 KO wins.
And now he wants. And then his senior quote, we got to talk about. Dude, that thing I sent you was so weird, by the way.
I know, I saw that.
So weird. That made no sense. That made no sense. I actually posted it to our story at one point because I thought that was really inspirational because his quote was honestly, that's an inspirational quote.
Second best quote to come out of UFC 314. We'll get to the best one later.
I mean, come on, man. Where's that story? Because, dude,
Where is it?
Senior quote, guys, from when the guy was 17, 18 years old, completely represents what he just did in the UFC in the last 3 years.
When you repost posts, it doesn't go on here.
Oh, bullshit. Come on, Insta. Guys, the quote, don't quote me entirely, but the quote went along the lines of something about, oh man, I don't even know. Something about not succeeding. It's not about what you do when you foul. It's about how you overcome it and something like that, man. And he cooked. Yeah, man. And maybe we'll find it here in a sec, but it perfectly represented what he did. Oh, yeah, here we are. Go aloud.
The greatest accomplishment is not in never failing, but in rising again after you fall.
So, guys, he admitted he was going to foul. He said, I might foul, but what am I going to do after I foul?
The only this is really cool, but it's not his quote. But yeah, it's cool.
Wait, it's not?
No, it's
not his, but it's his senior
quote. It says
quote.
it's from Vince Lombardi.
It's still his senior quote. Dominic Reyes, guys, wants the rematch with Yuri Prochazka.
Wait, what?
I love. Yeah, he called out Yuri Prochazka. He doesn't care. He just wants the ranked guy. So, usually like a guy like that might say, hey, I want a ranked guy and avoid the guy that knocked you out brutally. But you know what he said? I'll take Jan. I'll take Yuri.
He's down for anything.
He wants. Who knows?
It.
I don't know if that chin's entirely still there. I think if it gets touched, it might go out. But hey, if he's touching chins before his gets touched, he might just keep going on a run here.
Hell yeah, man.
So that fight was sick. And then we got into the main card.
That was a really good knockout. That was the start of the main card.
Wow. So what a start to the main card.
Yeah, an amazing start to that.
Everyone loves to see Dominic Reyes win after he beat John Jones, allegedly.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that you'll probably always root for him unless your favorite fighter's on the receiving.
If he would have lost to John Jones, nobody would have fucked with him.
And then we had honestly kind of a letdown, but it was one of the best third rounds I've ever watched. Yair Rodriguez beats Patricio Pitbull by unanimous decision.
What are your thoughts on the Bellator vet?
My thoughts on the Bellator vet. I think he definitely had
too little, too late.
Rookie mistakes. Too little, too late, and wasn't ready for the moment.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you feel like he wasn't ready for this moment? Like the UFC, the biggest stage, probably the biggest crowd he's ever fought in front of. I don't know what type of live crowds Bellator drew in, but this was a whole different game to him, and he got comfortable in the third round and almost won the fight.
He did.
But this was when I was like, this fight is amazing.
I think
UFC's back. This fight made me think that.
Yeah,
Third round was awesome.
Huge respect for Pitbull to even go in there with a contender like that. I mean, we got a former interim champion in Yair Rodriguez who went to war with Volkanovski despite getting knocked out. And honestly, dude, can we talk about how sharp Yair looked, man? He looked good. Oh man, we're gonna get to this because now he doesn't want to fight until the title. We'll get to that fucking pussy. But man, Yair, man, I want to see him versus anybody, man, because he just looked so sharp in that fight. His kicks were so nasty.
We should start matchmaking.
It almost looked like he was better on one foot than he was on two, man. Like when he would launch a kick, his balance was just so clean. And then Pitbull, I think, unfortunately, yeah, man, pressure of the moment, too little, too late.
Yeah.
Much older fighter. Arguably didn't even have to fight in the UFC to prove anything. Just kind of, you know what I mean? He's an old fighter, man. They don't.
It's kind of sad, actually.
In these young divisions, man, you're not gonna be able to
compete.
Cook. Yair's a beast, man. So. Yeah. Almost rallied it in the third round, but I don't really know who he's gonna have a good matchup against in there. Maybe the
Bryce
Chandler. Wait, he's not even the same division anymore.
Yeah, I would love to see him and Chandler.
That would be a good retirement fight for both of them, honestly.
In 2 years.
Yeah. So yeah, respect to both fighters, but I don't know really what Pitbull does from here. What does Pitbull? Josh Emmett or something?
Maybe Yair versus Murphy, since Murphy just won.
I would like to see that because both kind of really good, low potential star. You know what I mean? One of them needs a name.
Dude, what happened to Arnold Allen?
Oh, man. Wait, what actually happened to him? Is he good?
I kind of want to check the rankings. I haven't heard from him.
Dude went to war with Max Holloway and then said, I'm a top five.
A while ago, man. Where could I look at?
Probably
Arnold. Oh, yeah. Right here. Number 6. All right, did Pitbull make the rankings? No. But for Yair Rodriguez, yeah, I'd like to see Lerone Murphy fight him next. Cause really, or Lopez versus Yair, they were chomping back and forth at each other at the press conference. Let him make a rematch while Movsar fights Volk.
Yeah, that was
Run it.
So that was a banger fight.
All right, the co-main event.
That was a good fight too.
Paddy the Baddy got a knockout victory.
Remember when Chandler was like,
against
Paddy.
Michael Chandler.
Guys, so
it was sweet.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if this was a sign of Chandler significantly degressing from his last couple of fights, because we clearly saw some sort of aggression in the Oliveira fight, but we didn't know if that was because of the layoff for 2 years waiting for Conor. Then he had this fight, and it was like, oh God, did he regress, or is Paddy really like seriously lightweight? Because guys, in the moment, guys, this Paddy sparks Islam Makhachev. No, I was just kidding.
There's one flaw about Paddy, which stick around for the video and we'll get into it.
So I was just causing noise by saying that because this Paddy, man, is a serious contender. I saw Poirier's live reaction because he was doing the desk analyst. He looked like damn, like I did, like damn. Because if you guys don't know,
Chandler, if you knock out Michael Chandler,
of course
y'all
know.
You're big.
Poirier went to absolute war with Chandler. Gaethje went to absolute war with Chandler. Who else?
2 years ago, though.
The first Oliveira fight, absolute war with Chandler. Dan Hooker, war. Well, yeah, absolutely year. So that's what I'm trying to ask. Is Chandler? What is this the same Chandler that fought Poirier, Gaethje, Dan Hooker, Oliveira, or did
I think
he
this Chandler was a little
degress?
bit better than. No, I'm fucking with y'all. Chandler sucked last week.
Or was Paddy that
suck.
good? Who
Paddy's
knows?
Amazing.
I actually
fighter.
saw a couple of clips of the first round where Paddy's chin might actually need to be. Maybe just getting fat is the move, and then losing all the weight in one day. Because I don't know how he eats the shots that he eats. Because
all right, let me get to the flaw about Paddy.
What's the flaw?
Right? His last 3 victories, King Green, Tony Ferguson, Chandler, they all haven't won a fight since like 23. I don't even. They're like 0-13.
His last 5.
Ferguson's 0-7. Chandler's now what 0-4.
Yeah, I think
Bobby Green's 0-1.
I think it matters how he beat them though. No one has knocked out Chandler like that. That was dirty.
I mean,
Not in the UFC. No one submitted Bobby Green ever in the UFC. Ever in the UFC. No, that was a decision.
What? That was a decision?
Decision victory.
I didn't remember something from 3 years ago.
Poirier submitted him, but that was after going to absolute war, and Poirier almost died in the first round. So like I said, I don't know.
Then Islam Makhachev just shows there's levels.
There is a high chance Chandler significantly decreased over the last 2 years.
Yeah,
he was like 40 years of age. So I do think it is a little bit of that, but we can't completely discredit that win with Paddy. That was huge. But I was gonna. What do you think?
Is next for Paddy?
Yeah, I don't even know.
I think Dan Hooker maybe.
That'd be a good fight.
Does anyone disagree with that?
That would be a good fight.
Dan Hooker versus Paddy. Winner fights for a title contendership.
I feel like low-key Paddy should probably only.
Because Poirier was supposed to fight who? Gaethje, and it got canceled.
Yeah.
I can't believe that is so sad.
Dude, I have a problem. I think Paddy might beat the rest of the top 5. I mean, he might not be. I don't know. I think I favor him over Oliveira. I think Paddy loses to Arman. Is that a crazy take, bruv?
I think this is Paddy Pimblett's route. He beats Dan Hooker, then he fights
whoever the number 1
Arman.
is at the time. I don't think he beats Arman, but I think he beats Oliveira.
I really think the Arman should just get the title shot.
Me too.
But we'll see.
But we'll talk about that. Because he's the only one that I have respect for.
Yeah, we're really hyped for Paddy here.
Good win.
I talked about this.
I
talked about this in the preview to the fight. Paddy the Baddy was like kind of just like an immature showman for his first little stint in the UFC. But I'm gonna be honest, he kind of disappeared for a little bit from the big
Gordon
news.
Decision.
Yeah, he disappeared. I think he was injured as well for a little bit. Came back with cornrows. He's winning fights.
And he didn't.
He's
now
in the
he's
rankings
a huge star.
now.
Crazy.
And he's an even bigger star by not being in the news as much, which I respect. Like he made himself known.
What's even more inspirational is he took the Jared just questionable win very well, right? And he said he broke his foot in the first round. Nobody believed him, but I'm honestly starting to believe with his recent performance that he might have, right? Because he actually stayed out long after that fight and then came back and started going on a tear. And
Bobby Green, Tony
maybe
Ferguson.
he took that like public backlash as like a moment to truly lock in, because now he's just looking like a savage. Yeah. But like you said, that 0-13 thing is kind of sus low key. So I want to see him against Dan Hooker, Oliveira, but I really think Arman will give him the biggest
all I
problems.
want is Paddy versus Hooker. Injected in my veins.
Even
to be honest.
So now the main event.
For the 314 main event, it was a sight to behold. It
Good
was a
fight,
war.
eh?
It was probably I'm saying early contender for fight of the year. It was an awesome fight.
Very good fight. You guys know what I'm about to bring up,
Fight in
man.
the first
Every
quarter.
single time
his favorite ranking in the sport.
Every time this guy fights, and anybody
Finally
who
got
over
broken.
the years of 35,
But they changed it.
They did. They're skewing it. They're talking. Dude, they removed welterweight. Why are we discrediting?
Dude, because I saw your tweet like, "Oh, this dude's gonna get flamed because he read it wrong."
I did.
Someone's like, "Can you read, bitch ass?"
Yo, so I replied and I said, "Oh, so we're changing stupid stats now?" Because now that pissed me the.
I know.
I'm gonna get to that. So yeah, guys. So I hop on. Obviously, the curse is broke. I saw so many different posts. Right, guys, curse broke. Volk brought it up in his speech, curse. Guys. Fucking fighters from flyweight to welterweight, man, do not have a good time with the age of 35 and over. Yeah. Volk being 36 in this fight, and then proceeding to lose 2 fights in a row at 35 and up. His last fight at 34 was against Yair Rodriguez. Curse. Knocked out Yair Rodriguez as a 34-year-old. Then went up, fought Islam, lost, and then lost to Toria. So I honestly thought the curse was real. I'm gonna keep it $150. I predicted Volk on the podcast, but it was one of the ones in my head where I was like, dude, I think Diego might lose or win this low key. I kind of.
Wait, didn't the curse hit Usman though?
It happened to Usman too. As soon as Usman got 35, done.
That's crazy, y'all. But yeah, I literally love this fight. This fight made me think, okay, the UFC is back. This is
dude, when Volk got dropped, I was like, oh.
Yeah, Volk gets dropped. You know, they're throwing punches and connecting at the same exact time.
Watching it live, I knew Diego Lopez Lenny clean, but after the next following day and watching a lot of slow-mo clips,
dude,
is Volk's chin, should we even question it anymore? Because, guys, his last 2 knockout losses, I was just like, wow. But I truly think it more so not just him having a chin anymore. I think he really just got caught bad in his last 2 fights. The first one against Islam, he took it right to the temple. That's knocking anybody out. It doesn't matter what kind of chin you have. And then the fucking...
Maybe it's because he had a full camp.
And then arguably the Ilya knockout could have been because of the short camp from just getting knocked out, your head not fully recovered. Because, man, Diego Lopez was landing some of the cleanest shots I've ever seen Volk take. Was. His face after the fight, man, looked much worse than I've ever seen Volk. So, I don't know. Maybe he does have a chin, and Ilya and Islam really just caught him. But, dude,
bro,
I don't know if Volk should take another fight.
Like, the arms on the camera look like a symmetrical, like, mirror shot of our arms.
Where? Oh, that is weird.
It's so weird.
Guys, this is kind of weird.
Yeah, put your hand forward like this at the same time.
It's way weirder right here.
There's a mirror in between.
Yeah, guys. So I hop on Twitter and I see a post that said, I immediately saw the stat. So I said, bruh, it said 0 and something. Yeah. So I immediately commented. So 2 guys replied to me.
I was going to reply and be like, can you read, bro?
No, thank you. Thank God you didn't, because you would have gotten cooked too. Because I started cooking these guys. 2 people replied and said, one said, can you not read? Which was fine. That's like classic. And then this one guy took it too far. He's like, you stupid, dumb fucking retard. Can you not read a simple fucking post?
Yo.
So I replied back to both of them. I was like, bro, they changed the statistics, switched up. But I was a lot meaner than what I'll say on here. But you know what I'm saying? The comment ended up getting deleted, bro. I didn't even have to delete it.
Nice.
So
that was freedom of speech on X.
Well, I was going to delete it myself because I was embarrassed, and then it got deleted. So whatever. I think since the guy flamed me.
God,
so yeah, so someone went on to change the statistic, which I think the stat itself is already kind of skewed, right? Because you say from flyweight to welterweight, and you're like, well, what about the older divisions? Well, honestly, guys, every champion in those divisions is 35 and older already, in itself pretty damn near all the champions. Yeah, Woodley did it twice in welterweight, and then all of a sudden for this fight, we wanted to change the stat to lightweight. Stupid.
Getting back to the fight, this is what I have to say about the fight. Honestly, coming into this, I thought this was going to be way different. I thought Volk was going to dominate more in this fight. And I didn't really think Lopez was ready, but he showed otherwise. Lopez showed that he first off, I think this was his first 5-round fight, which super impressive. He went the distance with one of the best in the game.
I think he
went all 5 rounds, man. That is amazing to see.
I think
so I didn't expect that. I didn't expect his cardio.
Like, they were saying 49-46. I honestly gave Diego Lopez 2 rounds there. You obviously gave him round 2.
I was 3-2.
I can't believe they didn't give him round 2 for that, man. I mean, honestly.
I'm really this is not the end of Lopez either. I mean, and the reason I'm saying this is because Volk's not going to be around forever. This is kind of like
Volk's got to retire.
This is a crazy like situation we're in. Like, Volkanovski's still champ. It's 2025. Well, I guess he's champ. He's back to being champ.
I think Volk's got to retire now.
I think he should have retired on last Saturday night.
I think
what is there to do in the featherweight
division? I think he loses
division?
to any other contender.
What is there to do? He tried his stint at lightweight.
Like I said last week, I think he goes up to lightweight. No, he's got to go to lightweight, get his lick back on Ilya, and then get his lick back on Islam. That's the only way.
I don't think he can, though.
Oh, he's not.
Versus Ilya at lightweight?
Well, no, here's the thing. Ilya's 27 years old.
I know.
Fucking beast.
Dude, people in the comments are like, dude, Ilya's... Ilya's getting old, man.
So, like, if you want to be completely honest, like, what's truly next for Volk? I guess you give him the Mozart or whatever the fuck, Movar. I can't say his name. Yeah. I guess you give him that because he already cleared out the rest of the division.
We got to talk about after this segment in the pod.
So, so Volk either retire or fight the contender and then retire after one more. You have no reason to fight any other contender, or else take my path and go fight Ilya and then get your lick back on Islam. But now you're going up to a weight class that is, you've already lost to a couple times.
I think run it back with Holloway.
Nah, four. Nah, actually do it. Low key.
For the fans, man. For the fans.
Honestly, this being a title fight though made Ilya look so much better because now it's like, damn, Volk really just got sparked and is champion again. That's kind of bad for the division. As much as I love
final thoughts on the fight. Great fight.
What about the card itself? The card as a whole, 8 out of 10. I'm gonna give it.
I'm gonna give the card a.
I might be overdoing it, but I'll give it an 8.
5.
Considering how the year went.
I'm gonna give it a 7.5 just for the fact that like Yar versus Patricio Pitbull wasn't really all that. But Paddy Pimblett was.
I think the prelims being decent saved it a little bit too.
I don't know. It was a good card. Like, I think we were just so drained from March. And the craziest thing about the quote unquote slump, there was a fight every weekend, but it was just like it gets to a point where it's like it's too much,
dude.
You know what I mean? It's like
it's
the fact that it was like 4 in a row without.
That gets us to right now, guys. It is Saturday, 1 week after the fight, April 19th. Happy Easter, everyone.
Happy Easter if you're still listening.
Yep.
We appreciate you.
Happy Easter. So it's the 19th. It's Saturday, guys, and we have no fights. So speaking of 4 lackluster cards, and then we had 3-14. Now we get a week off, man, and we got some good fights next week.
Yeah. So we're gonna be predicting 2 fights from next week.
2 fights, guys, because
I mean, I think that's really all that has to be done. Because
2 fights, and then next week, we'll either bite us, man. Because if we only talk about 2 fights next week, that means we're smart for only talking about 2 fights. If we end up talking about a couple more, that means something cool happened.
There's actually some decent people on here.
No, skip them. Let's see if they live up to it.
I'm just gonna say some notable things. Damone Blackshear, he's a bantamweight that's ranked, I believe. Chris Gutierrez, that's a notable name.
So if I don't talk about these guys next week,
Ikram Adiskelov.
Ikram, I love it.
Versus Andre Muniz.
I actually like Ikram.
Randy Brown.
Michelle Pereira. Wow.
Michelle Pereira versus Abus Magomedov. Giga Chigaze. David Onama. Wait, was David Onama from the PFL?
How the fuck is... Wait.
Is this dude from the PFL?
Wait.
Am I tripping, or is this dude in the PFL? No.
Matt, go to Giga Chase's record. Did I just say he's only 14-4?
15-4, yeah.
How long has he been in the UFC?
Contender Series in 2018. Why do I feel like he's some, like, veteran?
Nah, because I was playing with him in the UFC 2, bro.
For some reason, I feel
What's his first fight in the UFC? What year? 2018? That's it? Damn.
2020.
That's his first fight in the UFC?
Wait, no, he fought he lost in the Contender Series and didn't get in the UFC till 2019.
Wait, look at that run up though. Damn. All those W's? What the fuck? Who did he lose to? Who's that loss right there? Cater.
Ian Allen. He lost to the best.
Wait, damn.
Okay, so this is a good fight. I'm gonna go with Giga.
Yo, Giga.
But here we go. Getting into the good stuff. Anthony Smith is back in his 60. Wait, hold on. 30 plus 60. 20 is 50. 8 plus 59 in his 60th UFC.
Wait, let me see that.
Anthony Smith's here in his 60th career fight.
What a fuck.
This is awesome.
He doesn't have one draw or no contest. That's honestly impressive.
Zhang Mingyang. And
wait, was that the guy we were rooting for that one time?
No.
Oh, that's not.
That was only a couple weeks. Oh my God, Zhang Yang is on a tear.
Has he been in the UFC?
Only 2 UFC fights, but he kept it going, which is impressive.
He's killing Anthony Smith. Matt, want to combine our life earnings? I don't even know.
He's minus 550 on Anthony Smith.
I mean, that's good. That means his KO's plus money, guys. I'm hammering that. I don't care.
But guys, I'm gonna be
that
rooting
I
for Anthony
on FanDuel
Smith.
And put that on.
You guys already know I'm gonna be rooting for Anthony Smith.
Guys, I can't root for that guy anymore. Guys,
it could be his last fight. It's a 60th career bout.
Dude, I think he might die. 60th career bout, fighting a guy who just had like 12 wins in a row. I'm pretty sure I saw like 5 knockouts in a row. I can't favor Anthony Smith there. Fuck that.
I know, but you're just gonna root for him, right?
I guess.
Or is Zhang Mingyang the next best thing?
I don't know.
Is he coming for Pereira?
Why is Anthony Smith? Why would Anthony Smith sign that contract? Who gave Anthony Smith that contract, bro? I've never seen someone have 20 losses face a guy who's like on like a 12-win streak.
Oh
wow.
my
They need to stop that, guys.
Zhang Mingyang. We'll be excited to watch him.
My prediction: that fight doesn't happen. That's my prediction.
Doesn't happen.
Yeah, that's my prediction for that fight. Bro. They're gonna cut him.
What time is this fight on?
So Ian Garry is fighting on that card as well.
Started talking about that.
versus one of the shitty fighting nerds.
Carlos Prates, y'all.
That's a hot take.
Listen.
19-0 they are.
I don't think he's the worst.
19-0 they are.
I think he might be better than that Mauricio Ruffy.
You don't like Mauricio for
No, I like
guess what?
Mauricio Ruffy, but I think it goes Gene Silva, Calabaralo, then Prates.
Isn't that sad? I feel like Gene Silva.
But they're all great. You know what I mean?
I feel like Gene Silva was the only real problem, and you actually disagreed. You said you don't.
I think Calabaralo is a good UFC fighter.
I think he's a chance, but I don't think TDP Hamza. I don't know what he would. I don't know. That's a hard division. So is featherweight. Don't get me wrong, man.
But believe it or not, y'all, I am going to go with Ian Garry here. He is only
what are the odds
lost
on
to
that?
the best.
I gotta take Ian Garry too. Can you check the statistics on that? They're gotta be even,
he's gotta
right?
Be favorite, but please, yeah, he's only minus 125.
Ian Garry?
Yeah.
Oh my! I might lose all my money. Guys, I'm sorry, man, but Ian Garry, especially after that Shavkat fight, guys, he's got the photo of him almost choking out Shavkat. Guys, I think Ian Garry's going to win this one pretty easily. I don't think knockout. I think he's going to wrestle him for some reason like he has been his last couple fights.
And listen, I know that it's like Carlos Prates, he smokes a pack of cigarettes a day and he's the best fighter, blah, blah. I think that's going to catch up to him. What about you?
Well, when you're fighting, yeah, nah.
Like if you want, wait, this is gonna be his first 5-rounder too.
Well, that's what I was gonna say, man. When you start getting to the competitive fight, when you start fighting legit champions, right? That could work. You could be one of the best fighters of all time and smoke cigarettes. That's fine. But when you smoke a pack a day and then you start going into 5-round fights against legit killers in your division, man, that's not gonna work like that, dude. You see how that division's stacked. He's not gonna beat these guys that like Bilal, who probably never touched a cigarette in his life. You're not beating that guy.
Cigarettes are haram as hell.
Bilal's literally known for having some of the best cardio in the game, and he's not beating that guy. I'm sorry. So, like you said, 5-rounder, I'm very interested to see. I 100% agree with you.
We're excited
on that. Guys, don't smoke cigarettes, and most certainly don't fight for smoking cigarettes, guys. And it's going to prove them wrong. We're taking Ian Garry. Do you think knockout? I'm thinking wrestle fuck. I'm not even going to lie.
I'm thinking
maybe a little both.
I'm also thinking a submission.
Yeah, I'm thinking like he might slide one in there. He almost had against Shot.
What is Prates gonna do if he's just on the ground getting tossed by?
I kind of like Ian Garry's style of like, hey, I'm a striker, but like
because
if I could take you down
in the Shavkat fight, he had Shavkat on the ground a decent amount.
Man, that's what I'm saying. He almost had him choked out.
I'm just saying.
I think Ian Garry's wrestling.
Be a good fight.
People underrate his striking because he wrestles. People think, oh, he's taking it to the ground because he doesn't feel comfortable on the feet. But why not take it to the ground if you're going to be successful on the ground? Guys, I've seen him get very dominant against MVP on the ground, Shavkat on the ground. He close fight. And then this fight, so maybe I'll be wrong. Maybe he does knock him out. I think wrestle fuck. Dude smokes a pack of cigarette today. I don't know.
But that's going to be an awesome fight.
Ian Garry.
Yeah,
Woo.
we got... let me just double check.
I kind of started doubting Ian Garry for a little bit, and then I started rocking with him again. I'm kind of a fake fan for that, but it is what it is.
So let me just check the calendar real quick.
Well, his wife finally shut up.
Okay, well, in 2 weeks we're gonna have Sandhagen versus Figgy. So, this is not next week, but the week after. You're gonna have work 2 Saturdays in a row.
I hope not.
Dude, this is such a good card.
I requested.
Oh my god, look at this.
I immediately put in for the next good UFC card.
UFC 315 on the 10th.
Yeah. No, what? On the 10th?
Yeah.
Of what?
May.
Oh my god.
Dude, look at this card. Look at this card.
The next one.
Dude, look at this. Bo Nickel versus Rainier de Ritter on a free fight night. And Corey Sandhagen versus Davison Figueroa. Dude, this is awesome. This is the night we got to go to the store if we can.
Dude,
if you don't work.
I gotta get off for that one.
So yeah.
So, what else they got going on?
So, considering that Ilia Topuria is no longer the featherweight champion of the UFC, I wanna see. I made this Instagram post, but I want to see in real life what we think about him fighting Movsar Evloev if he was still in featherweight. If Ilia was still in featherweight, if he fought Lopez, Evloev, Murphy, Gian Silva, would he just whoop all of them?
Well, we know he would smoke Diego Lopez, I think. I think Diego Lopez...
I think he would knock out Diego Lopez.
I think as good as Diego Lopez is, he got caught a lot in that fight. I think I'd favor Ilia just because he's better at not getting hit. Who's next? Who else did you say?
Call me crazy. Everyone's like, Movsar easily wins. I'm like, what?
Movsar doesn't win that fight, I don't
think. Movsar easily wins, or like 1-3. Movsar's the only problem here.
I don't think Movsar wins that fight. I don't think people understand that Ilia comes from a wrestling, grappling background and now just started knocking everybody out.
He hasn't fought anyone crazy besides Arnold freaking Allen and Diego Lopez.
No. People are tripping, man. Ilia is the real deal. You cannot deny it anymore, especially after the Volkan Max Holloway fight. I'm not gonna lie. I was the guy who doubted Ilia. You doubted Ilia. We picked
against
Bryce Mitchell to beat that guy. When I saw
AKA
him
we
knock
didn't
out
know who he
Volk,
was.
when I saw him knock out Max Holloway, guys, I knew he was the real deal. I think any of those guys you named, he might beat, or he will beat. And we're gonna see what happens, man. If he beats Islam and gets through Islam, he's 100%.
Dude, do you want to know what's the most impressive about the Holloway win and the Volk win? Right,
back-to-back knockouts.
one
against fighters who have never been knocked out.
Islam, the freaking lightweight champ, couldn't put Volk out in their first fight.
A full fresh Volk camp.
A full fresh camp Volk.
But Ilya did.
When
did Islam knock out
Justin
Volk?
Gaethje, one of the best lightweight strikers, couldn't knock out a featherweight coming up. He lost to him, and then Ilya just knocks both of them out.
And you could argue, okay, so now let's argue this. The other argument
I didn't even think of it that way.
The other argument people are making, Ilya, okay, Volk just got knocked out. Totally fine. Volk never, or then you could argue Max Holloway never got knocked out, and then now people are saying, well, Max is kind of at the end of his career. He's already had multiple title shots. It was kind of just lucky timing for Ilya. Okay, and then now they're saying, well, Volk just got knocked out. I'm not giving him credit. True Ilya haters are seriously saying this. But guys, let's go look at Islam's recent fights. He just went to war with Poirier, who Khabib absolutely squished. Okay, so I'm sorry, guys. Early, I'm taking Ilya in this match. I don't even know how we got to talking about that.
Against Islam?
Yeah.
Or against Movsar?
Both of them.
Both of them.
I seriously think Ilya's a problem. He's too young and too much confidence, dude.
I think the Islam fight's gonna be tougher than a quick knockout like we've seen.
I think, dude. What's crazy is I feel like the internet says Ilya, right? But when I check the odds, people are saying early odds have Islam as a slight favorite, which I guess isn't too surprising. But the internet, you see how the internet doesn't really rock with Makhachev as much. Like they kind of love Ilya right now. So you think Makhachev? I think it's gonna be a war. I don't think they. Makhachev. I don't even know. I mean, I feel like Islam's much bigger than Ilya. I don't know. So,
but at the same time, I'm like, I think Arman should get the title shot and Ilya should fight like somebody else.
I think it depends if the UFC's capping or not, right? You see all the media. I see Ilya claiming that Dana White promised him a title shot. I see Chael Sonnen saying Ilya did not say that, or Dana White did not say that. And you know, you're lead to believe the guy who's probably in the UFC. What did Khabib say?
He said, let's say Ilya gets the title shot, he loses. Then he fights another fight in lightweight and he loses. Then what? He's done. But if he fights a lightweight contender, you know what I mean? He has a better chance at having some longevity in the lightweight division.
Which then the only fighter then he could fight.
We know what happened to Kai Asakura.
The only fight he could fight is
Kai Asakura. You know what I mean? Like
I know what you mean, but the only issue with Khabib saying that is he has the only other guy he could fight right now is Arman.
Yeah, true.
He already beat. And then who's another contender that's not Gaethje, Poirier, or in the lightweight division? Then I'm like,
Hooker.
We're not fight. Didn't he already fight Dan Hooker and smashed him? Islam.
Yeah.
Okay, so Islam, you only have two options, and
Arman and Ilya.
Apparently, neither of them are supposed to get the title shot because Arman allegedly was supposed to fight someone. So I agree with you. I do think Arman first, but unfortunately,
for JDM.
Unfortunately, like the true issue with Khabib saying that is if you say that, then you have to give Arman the title shot. If you fight somebody else, you just went against your own statement. Everybody else in the lightweight division sucks. Doesn't suck. Just their last 5 is like very bad. You know what I mean?
So yeah,
Poirier just getting knocked out.
It's going to be an interesting sequence of events.
No, this is ridiculous.
Leading up to the next. I honestly it's just like get it before summer, man.
I honestly think
we want to see the.
Ultimately, I'm okay with the Ilya contender fight, but if the UFC genuinely promised, like he's saying, then give him the title shot. Cause that's just like a man on man saying
he dropped
on
the
his
boat.
word. But if Ilya's bluffing a little bit to get the title shot, then I guess then give him the contender. I wouldn't mind it. But I'd like to see the fight. I think the fans want to see the fight too.
But yeah, guys, just to wrap a few things up, we just dropped episode 3. If you're still watching, you may have already watched this episode. Wingin Around Town. We checked out Gabriel's Gate. It was great wings, a great vlog. Check it out in the link in the description.
Yeah, check that out, guys. Episode what? 4?
Episode 3 we just did.
That was only episode 3.
So we're on episode 3 of that series. We're on episode 96, just closing off on this series, man.
Let's just say, guys, there's new top contender.
So for now, there's not going to be weekly episodes.
New top contender.
But I think if you don't work on May 3rd, bro, do you know what we got to do?
What?
Buy all the shit. And it's not a lot of shit. Do you know what I mean? Although unless we want to be serious and like build like a shelf here.
Bro, I want to make this like a true fucking fight.
Like Kyle, look at my hand real quick. We nail a 2x4 to the top where we want the top of the shelf, the bottom. Then we run we put a little ledge on it, right? A little lip, and then we just put boards to the ground. So it's like a shelf all the way down.
So it's like a table
right?
down there.
And then we put the couch here, so we have a shelf along the whole back of the couch.
For the brewskis.
Or just for like
And
collectibles. And then we move the couch flat. We move all this foam, so it's this wall instead.
Yeah, we could do something like that.
Yeah, and then do you know what we're going to do? We're going to go to Home Depot. We're going to measure this floor, go to Home Depot, buy a thing of AstroTurf, a roll of it. We're going to cut out that vent.
What does that even look like yet?
It's just like football turf.
Grass?
Yeah, like wouldn't that be dope?
Might be fire.
We just fill in because this area is a square besides that little cutout, so we just fill in the part that's not where the cutout is.
That might be fire.
You know what I mean? We cut out that vent.
We could. No, we should fill that too. Fuck it.
Okay.
Fuck it.
I think we get some fake
help,
turf.
It'll probably help trap whatever mold's going in there. I'm serious too.
And then also, dude, I unironically was watching this YouTube video earlier, and I was like, we need to get one of these setups. These people's setups, like, I feel like we need like a table setup. Like they have a table here.
That's kind of clean. They got one mic too.
This is just like two people reacting to music. This setup.
This is all.
I was like, dude, this is like a 5-year-old video because I was just seeing if people were reacting to this song.
What song was it?
The song that was in the intro of the vlog.
Oh, nice.
It's a good ass song.
Yeah,
but isn't this a dope ass setup, bro?
Yeah, no, that's kind of clean.
Like there's like a table here. I probably wouldn't have a laptop, but like I kind of mess with like if we had a table set up here and the couch set up there. You know what I mean?
No, they're not standing.
Or dude, even like a table set up here, because then the TV would be there. We could still watch the fights from the table set up with like 2 bar stools or something.
Yeah,
so it was like table. Higher up. Yeah, it's like a bar. It's like a bar stool chat. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that'd be fire.
/ reaction.
If we had a higher up.
So if we have the TV in that corner, right? We could watch from this setup.
I kind of want like a fire high.
So guys,
a high up table. That'd be kind of clean.
Ideas are flowing right now.
That'd be kind of clean.
But yeah, we're gonna keep trying to push out content for y'all.
So the UFC's looking up. I do gotta say that.
UFC's looking up. Kyle just started a new job, so he's figuring stuff out.
We can still do a pod
in the comment section.
So
we just
looking good.
We got a lot of cool stuff coming. Also, episode 100. I'm thinking that it's gonna be really awesome. That's all I'm gonna say. And also episode 100. Once we hit episode 100, I'm gonna start uploading our podcast onto Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
That's huge.
That was our 2024 goals, but I'm like, I think episode 100 is a good tier to reach to start actually posting your podcast. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's like
I think we're getting a little better as well.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like we started on YouTube. Now we're going to be on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple. It's like, who knows? Maybe one day we'll be on like something else, like a radio or something.
Woo!
And also, bro, I'm going to cut this out, and I'm just going to tell you what my plans are so far, episode 100, right?
Okay.
So it's going to be like an hour-long video,
Ice
right?
bucket challenge.
We could do that if we want, but one segment's going to be open up UFC cards with CD trades.
We should actually.
One segment's going to be us just chilling on the couch, right? We're going to like react to like the first episode.
That'd be fire.
And I think a really cool part would be like talking about like where our lives were in episode 1, like February 2022. I was fucking doing this and da da da. And now I'm fucking here, and like it's gonna be crazy to look at episode 200. You know?
Yeah, it's awesome, man. Because I
see where we are
at
episode 200.
You showed me, you made an MMA TikTok, and I think
that was a good ass
told
day.
you that day. We should make an Instagram. Like that day you showed me, because you were like a little faded.
No, because we were like, we both post on TikTok and then we collaborate on Instagram.
Yeah, because you were a little faded or whatever, and then you were like,
I'm still like, I feel like you getting banned just like defeated like your momentum.
It did derail a lot of hype for me. I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty upset because I was also making good guapo on TikTok at that time, like low key.
They changed it.
Before they changed the creator phone. Before they changed it, guys.
Yeah, we were making money.
Yeah, so I'm not even gonna lie. So I was hurt, but yeah, I remember that you literally said to me, Kyle, I'm gonna show you something. I was like, sick, let's do it. So that was in 2021, man. Then 2022, we started this.
Dude,
so
2021 was a good year.
I'd be hyped to see what we did,
but it's okay.
How we started and how we did. What the fuck is that?
What's about today? But we love y'all. We'll see y'all in episode 97.
Check out Just Geeks.
Just Geeks, new vlog.
And maybe we'll do some cool stuff on there over the summer.
I have a bunch of ideas for vlogs.
So yeah, let's do it.
We'll see you guys in the next one.
Ding.
Peace.
Animal.